States of America. This is Political Analytical. I'm your host, Eddie Hill, along with Rick Warren and Gordon Park. Join us as we give our opinion concerning everything dealing with politics. We don't hold back, so prepare for a no-nonsense approach to the news, and no, we don't care about your feelings. Uncensored and no sugarcoating. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Hello and welcome everybody to Political Analytical. I'm your host, Eddie Hill, along with my other hosts. We have the incredible and sexy and talented Rick Warren.
What up?
Also, the incredible, hairy, sexy, and talented Gordon D. Park.
Good evening.
And then we have our incredibly bald, sexy, hairless, nerd, and completely shaven down past the bikini line, James Coops.
How you doing?
Welcome.
Everything.
I have you guys on the show as always. It's great to have such wonderful reporters and news anchors and whatever else you want to call yourselves. I think we're a little bit of everything, really.
We really are.
Pretty much.
Reporters. I did forget my Trump hat. I got to go get that and put it on. So we've got a really interesting show tonight. And but first I want to say hello to Gene Smith. Pleasure having you on here. Daniela is on here. Of course, we've got Analytical is on as well. So real quick, let's go over some topics on what we're going to be covering tonight. And I think all of you are going to be very, very, very interested in what we're going to be saying and giving our opinions on. Let's start off with Rick Warren.
Good evening, guys. Hey, thank you for the time. And I was watching today with enthusiasm as Ted Cruz tore the multimedia's a new one today. But there's something else that's going on right now. And this is being held in complete silence almost, unless you follow the other networks and everything else like that that actually give a damn about what's going on in the world. And this is the Hunter Biden computer. I want to tell you that the complete silence is from multimedias, from Twitter, from Facebooks. They are silent from numerous newspapers, the New York Times. They refuse to run the story. And I have to wonder why. What is so compromising in that computer that the networks and that the papers and that the worldwide people cannot hear exactly what's going on with his computer? Well, for answers on that, I listened to quite a few of the shows, and I was listening to the debates going on about this, mainly because there are implications of many congressional leaders taking part in nefarious activities on that computer. And there's lots of names, congressional names, all kinds of people that are named and actually come out with emails. It implicates deals made with Russia. It implicates deals made with Chinese leaders. This is with the Biden people. This is with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and his brother. Contracts.
So I would take it that Obama's going to be implicated in a lot of these emails as well.
Exactly. These contracts and everything else were made during the time when Hillary and Obama and everybody was in office. And if you want to talk about a quid pro quo, oh my God, they are loaded with that. And not only that, but they have compromising basically pornography from Hunter Biden himself being compromised with underage adolescent young Chinese girls topless.
You know,
And-
I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I think Joe and Hunter Biden could both be caught on video barbecuing a baby on a grill and having sex with it out in the open, and people would be like, so he's better than Trump.
Didn't happen. Mhm.
That's how stupid people are.
Exactly.
These Biden voters. I cannot believe some of the mentalities that I've seen, Rick, and especially after you talking about all the corruptness that's out there with it, and the people that will sit there and either deny it, accept it, and say better than Trump, or just completely play. Well, I don't know if they're playing stupid. They probably are, but I mean, it's just the mentality of people that are on the left. I just honestly, I can't wrap my mind around it.
Another thing, it is the fact that this kind of evidence, this isn't the first time, this is not the first time that it has been suppressed. We have the evidence against Hillary Clinton, against Obama, against Dick Cheney, and other congressional leaders of years past. And what's amazing about this, Eddie, is the fact, Gordon, you mentioned it there the other day. We have congressional leaders and people sitting there and offices, the Department of Justice, DOJ, the FBI, all of these departments are standing down. Because why? It implicates some of the people in high esteem as far as the FBI and DOJ.
What do you think would happen to one of us if it was our laptop there?
Be burned. Burned to the ground. Guarantee you.
We had
If
less
it was our laptop,
So
we had people, what was the name? The Rosenbergs, I believe, was the ones that gave out information and were hung in World War II. Yeah, they were hung for less things than what is going on just on some of the information that is being brought forth from Hunter Biden's computer.
Now, you know, real quick, I know you've got a really good list, James, but
yeah,
I'm watching Gordon, and he needs a release valve opened up.
yeah.
So I'm going to flow over to him for just a moment and see what he's got.
There has been a point in every person's and every nation's lifetime where they have to say enough is enough is enough. And we're at that point. If Joe Biden wins this election, you will see me go on an absolute tirade that it will be biblical. I will start websites. I will start Twitter accounts. I will start whatever I have to start within a legal means to make sure that every person that comes in contact with me knows he's a piece of shit. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. You don't fuck with kids. And if there are images of Hunter Biden, inappropriate images with young topless Asian girls, then there needs to be serious repercussions for that. Look what they did. And what I'm about to say, please understand, I'm not downplaying the event. Michael Vick, for those of you who are sports fans and know who Michael Vick is, Michael Vick was the Eagles quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons quarterback for a long time. And he got brought up on charges of animal cruelty, which he was found guilty of. And they threw him in jail for several years. and he was an NFL star, had all the money in the world that he wanted. Now these two fucking cocksuckers, because they're in a political environment, can get away with whatever they want. It's time to refresh that tree that we've all been talking about. And I am leaning more and more and more with Kurt. Kurt has said many times, enough's enough. And it's time for the silent majority to stand up and say, if you guys aren't going to do what you're supposed to do, you're going to have a hard lesson to learn at the hands of the American people. And more than likely, it's going to be fisticuffs and blood in the streets. And I will be on the front lines helping, because I am sick and fucking tired of the American people turning a blind eye because they don't understand the full facts. They're too fucking lazy to open up and see what's actually going on around in the world. They take the fucking news media like CNN and MSNBC as their face value and say, oh, well, it's on the news networks. It must be true. It's just part of the Russia collusion. They don't bother to do the fucking research and find out there was no Russian collusion with Trump.
I'm going to tell you why. It's because they don't care, Gordon. They don't give a shit. All they know is that they do not like Trump. And that's all that matters to these people.
Politics and the way America is run is not a fad. It's not a new fucking pair of jeans that you put on and wear for a couple of years and then throw away. This is how our children are going to, this is the world and the country that our children are going to be left with. And you fuckers are treating this as though it's a fad. Every 4 years, somebody else comes up and they say, oh, well, at least he's not Trump. Fuck you. What have you done to find out what Trump has done?
Now I'm going to give you some, stats on something me and James was talking about earlier. And it has to do with the demographics of the young people. There's part of my family that's 18 and older. And there is a demographic going around right now with the LBGT, whatever you want to call. I don't know what the damn acronym is.
QRSTUVWXYZ.
Yeah, that one. This is getting to be an entity of quite a lot of power. This is an entity that is putting a voting bloc out there that doesn't give a damn what the politics, just like you said, Gordon. They don't care. The only factor that they are considering is the fact they hate Trump. There was over 6 million young people last time voting was done that didn't vote. Over 6 million. And right now we have that number coming up quite quickly of those type of people, not only the LGBT community, but also the young people from a age group of 18 to 30 that has now become a proponent of defeating Trump, no matter the cost.
So let me get in here right quick. Let's address the elephant in the room, okay? Because anybody had turned on a TV last night or looked at their feed today, you would know that Tucker Carlson had on last night the Bob Alinsky interview. And this is Hunter Biden's business partner that implicated everything. He threw it out on the table and he implicated everything. And here's the thing. Shit, almost said Obama, how dirty he is. So my mind's dirty right now. I'm thinking Obama. But here's the thing. Trump got impeached over a phone call that might have been inappropriate, over a phone call, submitted transcribes from, right, on a freaking phone call. We have Tony Bobolinsky coming out with hardcore evidence, and the mainstream is not producing this. The mainstream is not talking about this today. They're not mentioning anything. In fact, they're being coached and they're saying, you discuss this at all, it's going to burn the Biden campaign and you're going to be out of a job. Nobody's talking about this thing. Tucker Carlson had Tony Bobolinsky last night on his show for an hour. The entire hour of his show was that. It was a review. He went out there with hardcore evidence. He has 3 cell phones with text messages. He has all the internet access, all the internet, but all the internet messages and everything that transcribed. He met Joe Biden in person. He was up there with Hunter, and he was up there with Joe Biden's brother, James, and they all, met together, and they all have this thing going on. He broke it down to where the Chinese government, the people, split dividends. It was $5 million on one end to Hunter Biden and Joe and all those guys as a donation, and then the other $5 million went for the constituents. It went into their fund for the business and everything else. But yet here you have Joe Biden on no media in a debate. I did not receive a single penny from China, from any other foreign, blah, blah, blah. You got this dude straying on national TV. And then last night, bombshell comes out. So what does this mean? Does this mean that, does it affect him? No, it doesn't. It affects it in the fact that the people that have already voted, and you see what Trump's doing, right? He got up on there and he's like, hey, you know what? You can change your vote. In some states, you can change your vote. In some states, you can't. But in some states, you can, because of all this new information that's coming out, right? You can change your vote if you want to. Go ahead on and do that, right? In that way, it's affecting the election. But you got to think, Biden and Hunter and all these guys, they're compromised. They are compromised, and they are on China's payroll. China is an adversary right now. They're on their stinking payroll. Okay. So do we really need a president that's on the Chinese payroll?
Absolutely
Really?
not.
Like,
the presidency
what's going on?
Is on borrowed time, basically.
Not to mention what is being implicated with the Russian coup.
What?
I know
that, we're just talking about one aspect of it. That's just the business end of it. So Biden, also received what was it, $3.2 million from the Russian mayor's wife.
Exactly.
And that's but I've never received a penny from any foreign constituents. Yeah, but you got $3.2 million in your bank account from the Russian mayor's wife. So where does that come from? So now, not only are you compromised in China, you're now compromised in Russia. Come on. What are we doing?
Rick,
yet there's people that are voting for these folks.
Danielle was asking if you've ever heard of the Lincoln Project.
No, I have not.
Geez,
as a matter of fact,
get me started on that.
Yeah, it's a whole group that is there to make sure that Trump doesn't get reelected, put out of office. But it's called the Lincoln Project.
It's solely their sole purpose is to get Trump out of office, and it's completely ridiculous.
I want to go further down this rabbit hole, guys, and point a finger at what's going on with our judicial system, if that's what you want to call it now, because the FBI, the Department of Justice, and other interior offices are not doing a damn thing about this. There's no indictments. There's no inquiries. There's nothing going on. And yet we have Steve Bannon, okay? As much as he was deferred from the political arena because of his involvement with Trump and everything else like that, he was on a show last night called The War Room. And he has, and all of his constituents have the evidence and everything else that they're going to be listing and giving out to the United States through different media outlets coming up this week of exactly what's going on. And it's scary. It's scary to think that we are so endowed with criminality from the highest office down.
Yep, absolutely. Gordon, what's your take on all that?
I'm just tired of the hypocrisy. These are going back to the media outlets. They tout and they hide behind their First Amendment rights to say and speak and do whatever they want. but they sequester and silence anyone else who uses that same amendment. That is ridiculous, to say the least. The fact that the feds are not getting involved to prosecute these people, to go after them and put an end to this, kind of goes back to the whole that movie, that phrase that's turned into a movie, is too big to fail.
Right.
If we did, who would we have left? If we did indict and arrest and imprison these people, who would lead our country? Would we have to have
And
emergency elections?
I also have to mention here,
Okay,
guys,
so-
the fact that there is a position that has been upheld as far as what happened clear back to Richard Nixon and the Watergate scandal. Okay. We're looking at government cover up. We're looking at criminality at the highest offices, even back then. And the conspiracy theories just keep on rolling from then on.
Right. And James?
So, yeah. So about that, why is nothing happening? Why is this? Why is that? Something is happening. So the FBI has requested an interview with Tony Bobulinski, and that's not much. I mean, but it's a first step, right? They want to interview him first. Why not the Bidens? Obviously, because it's political. But they want to interview Tony Bobulinski first. Okay, Tony Bobulinski gave up a lot of stuff last night. He gave up a lot. He sacrificed his personal life because now, guess what? He went against the Bidens. Okay, he went against a candidate for presidency. He's given up. He's got a target on his back, and he knows it. Why do you think last night he was in a hotel room 2 hours before the even aired? They did the interview. He was in a hotel room off-site somewhere. He knows he has a target on his back, and he said it last night. He says, if I got to hide out for 4, do what I have to do, and eventually my name will slip off and nobody, worry about it. If he would have been doing that against Hillary Clinton, he would have said himself already by now. Okay, 2 shots in the back of the head, he would have killed himself. Okay, facts. All right. The other part, they're not going to do anything, not going to implicate Biden or anybody right now. We are what, like 7 days away from an election? It's not going to do anything for this right now. Okay, and we're out with all the polls and everything else. Man, I'll tell you what, Biden has been compared to a gateway drug to radicalization, right? Normalization. Biden comes out and he says, okay, I want everything to be normal. All right. I want everything to return to normal. That's his pitch right now. Good old Joe wants everything to go back to normal. But what is Joe going to do if he gets elected? He's going to go back to mask mandates. He's going to go back to lockdowns and all that stuff. That's not normal. Well, he's trying to weasel his way out of that, right? Back to Joe Biden's normal is the corrupt politicians of the left. What Donald Trump is going in there to do right now, he's draining the swamp. Okay. Go back to Joe Biden. If we go to a Joe Biden presidency, the swamp's not being drained, it's being refilled. We're not going back to normal. We're going back to the normal one for the last several years with all these crazy Democratic bullshit policies and all the stuff they're doing. But the agenda there now is just so far-fetched, man. It's so off. The polls are off. Newt Gingrich came on. He said that he has a lot of close people. He was in the House before that old ratchet ass. I'm sorry, I could have said that better. That old nasty ratchet ass Nancy Pelosi dried up. Anyway, cunt. So I'll tell you how to really feel later. But he was a Speaker of the House before her. Okay, and he has folks in Georgia that's saying, hey, you know what? Georgia is not turning Biden, no matter what these polls look like. Georgia is not going Biden. Texas is turning blue. I don't buy it. It's not happening. What do you guys think about these polls that's coming out? Because I think the polls are total bullshit. It's happening.
I think the polls that are coming out are is coming out because of a lot of the fake ballots that are going out as well. You know, these mail-in ballots, I think, are causing a lot of the one-sidedness because they're seeing these coming in. And of course, you're going to find anything with Trump's name on it, it's going to be in the garbage or in the water, you know, and that goes for the military guys as well who are overseas. Their ballots probably are not going to make it back because of that. Anything with Trump's name on it's going to be hijacked.
So good question right here. So you think the polls are turning blue because of the ballots and because of, you know, early voting and all this other stuff. So what do you think about? So take the votes out of it. Do you think there's anybody behind the scenes minus the votes that are saying, "Hey, yeah, we're totally blue. You know, we're going Biden, blah blah blah." I really think there are people back there saying,
I don't think so.
Minus the votes, here's where we are. You don't think so?
Yeah, I do not think
Rick,
that many Biden supporters. I think a lot of what you're hearing.
I don't think so either. But the Biden supporters in charge, the ones that are in charge, the ones that actually have a voice, not actually the ones that are voting, which the voters have a voice, but the ones that are in charge of the polls and the ones in charge of reporting, I think they're reporting false information to swing the polls and make it look like, oh, Biden's ahead, so you might as well not even come out and vote.
Oh, and then if you want to look at some halfway decent stats, look at the Trafalgar Group and check that out as far as their methods of polling. They were the ones that have been right. They were right during the 2016 election when everybody said Hillary's ahead and Trump's losing. They were the ones that wrong. Trump's winning, Hillary's losing, and of course she won, or she lost and he won. And also on some of the other elections that have taken place, they have always been right when everyone else is wrong. And so far, it looks like on their polls, this is how close it is. Trump 47.1 and Biden 47.5. And that's just within a small margin. Now, that's not every state. That's just kind of a combined tally of everything. However, like I said, I think a lot of that kind of stuff has been blown up or exploded out more than what it should be, trying to show that there's more votes going blue than red. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think so too. And,
Guys,
just a fun fact in Florida.
Well, when you got 4 people that show up at a Biden rally and you've got 75,000 people showing up at Trump's rally, I mean, come on, do the math.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you? And in Florida, you need 29 electoral votes.
I got to interject something here, James.
Go ahead.
Now,
go ahead.
On the public TV and on Fox News, doesn't make any difference whether it's Fox News. Tucker Carlson is reporting that damning Hunter documents suddenly vanish. This is on worldwide news right now. Yeah. Does that surprise you? Right now, it is on world news right now that damning Hunter documents have suddenly vanished.
What documents?
Bullshit.
Yeah.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. What documents is it?
I'm not listening to the report right now, but he's been on for about 20 minutes now.
Oh,
and
shit.
his main topic was that these documents that have come forth from the DOJ or anybody else, some of those computer parts were sent to Rudy Giuliani. He made 4 copies of them, and you know what's going on with that? He has outs and ends of the political system like nobody does, but he is silent. And now we hear that the damn Hunter documents have suddenly vanished. So there you go.
All right, everybody. Well, we're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to come right back to this in just a minute. So I need everybody to stand by, And we're going to play a little tune for you, and we shall return here in just a moment. Nobody go away. Stay put.
I'm going to do some research.
This week, we received from a source a collection of confidential documents related to the Biden family. Those documents are authentic, they're real, and they're damning. The time we received them,
Mute your mics.
producer Justin Wells and I were in Los Angeles preparing an interview with Bob Alinsky about Biden's business dealings in China, Ukraine, and the country. So we texted a producer in New York and we asked him to send those documents to us in LA, and he did that. So Monday afternoon of this week, he shipped those documents overnight to California with a large national carrier, brand name company that we view.
Shaky dust. I cause the night so quite so still. I did not seem to think so. You saved me. You saved me from understanding. Not given that only land had complex interest of sun fruits, and I like so quiet, so still did not seem to feel even to dream. So you saved me, you saved me from understanding more. You saved me, you saved me from understanding more. Time overflows, all the space we seize, between blurred folds of earth and sea. The time overflows, all the naked life, between blurred folds of earth and sky. That's all, nothing more. That's all, nothing more. That's all, nothing more. That's all. nothing more. That's all. Nothing more. That's all.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Political Analytical. I'm your host, Eddie Hill, along with Rick Warren, Gordon D. Park, and James Toops. Pleasure to have you all with us. Hope you all enjoyed the little tune that we were playing. And just a little reminder for everybody, if you have or know anybody who has some sort of a band, or maybe they have some music releases or what have you, we would appreciate it if you'd let them know about us, and we'd love to play their stuff on here. It does have to be royalty-free stuff, but if they would like to send it in, we'd love to play it. Thank you so very much, and we're going to continue on where we left off with, I believe we had Rick talking, and we'll continue on with him, and we'll see where he's going with this whole Biden thing, because he had some breaking news. If you want to go over that one more time there, Rick. Whoa, hold on.
Forgot to unmute his mic.
Try again.
Okay. Thank you, Eddie. It's been brought to my attention that there has been breaking news, worldwide news, as it should be, that the Hunter Biden documents that were sent from a facility on the East Coast going to Los Angeles by a courier, a name brand courier, has been suddenly, all at once, they vanished. The courier said they did a deep and thorough investigation as to what happened to these documents from the time they left the port where they were shipped from to 3:45 a.m. in the morning in Los Angeles where they landed. And there is no evidence as to who or what happened to those documents, only that the packages that they sent has been opened and the documents are gone.
And they searched the plane. They searched everybody's hand that had on that document. They searched everybody, the plane, the carriers, the couriers, the everything. And all of a sudden, they received this empty envelope with no documents in it. And this is before, right, Rick? This is before the Bobolinsky investigation or interview, right?
Exactly. Yes.
What I just saw from Tucker that you sent me is completely like, wow. Well, it is mind blowing how they can just cover up something like this, or they try to cover up something like this. But you have to understand that if a person within possession of stuff like this, you're not going to have one copy of it. You're gonna make multiple copies of it, and then you're going to instruct that has a copy that says, you're going to tell them, hey, so in the event something happens to me, this needs to go public, right? So that's not the only document that I guarantee you that. But the fact that happened, it is mind blowing, and that is some breaking news. That is right now that just happened. Insane.
And this is what I'm gathering. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Gordon.
Well, I was doing a little digging, a little research on my own. There's enough evidence out here that there should be something being done. And I have my own disturbing thoughts. If Trump knows this, the President of the United States, by executive order, can order the FBI to open an investigation by executive order. Why hasn't that happened? Next question.
Because they're all dirty.
Next statement rather, is that the U.S. Department of Justice has a standing rule that no president of the United States can be arrested on criminal charges. It's a standing rule that they've had for many years. So,
Immunity, in other words.
yeah, for their term.
Can't be indicted. Yeah.
Can't be indicted. They can't be arrested on charges, because in order to be arrested on charges, you have to be indicted on them. But he also has the power, like Obama did, to give immunity. So we have 6 days for an executive order to come out stating that there needs to be an investigation, an open investigation into this, and a public one.
Do you think that's going to happen?
No.
What do you think is
No.
going to be the outcome of this?
I think this is going to be one of those deals that becomes a who really shot JFK and what's really at Area 51.
Mhm.
That's our legal system, and that's where we're headed. This is
So basically,
swept under
who
the
shot
rug.
JR?
Yeah.
All over again.
Yep. That's what this
It
is
also
going to.
So here's the thing. So right now, nothing is going to happen to Biden right now between now and election. Nothing. Okay, at all. They're not going to do anything. Okay, if Biden was by some miracle on his behalf gets elected, okay, at that point, if Biden becomes president, immediately what next needs to happen is an immediate impeachment on his ass. That's what needs to happen. Okay, because of all the corruption and all this other stuff. That's what needs to happen. But between now and election time, it's not going to happen. Nothing is going to go down to where they say, "Oh, yep, you know what, Biden, you're out of the race. You're out of the race." You know, blah blah blah. He's going to have to get impeached right after he gets elected. But the way the polls are going and all this other shit, the polls are wrong, man. They're just look at it. They do so many comparisons between now and 2016. The polls, just do the research. It's not in Biden's favor. I'll tell you that.
They're doing the same thing that the Nazi Party did. They're skewing the results to
Mhm.
discourage those people who have not yet voted and making them think that their votes are pointless. Why vote? It's not going to count. This guy's already got it locked up.
Right. I wanna do a shout out also to Jean Smith. She says, my mind is made up. They can post whatever the news people want to post. The only political people is y'all, which is us. I very seldom watch crap on TV. I have known for months who I will vote for Tuesday. Amen, Gene. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And thank you so much for watching us. And I mean, it's little comments like that that really keep us going and keep us pushing forward.
Absolutely.
You guys, it's
and you know, there's a lot of folks waiting till election day. There's a lot of people waiting to vote. You know, I went early and I did my thing, and I know a lot of folks that did. And but there's a lot of people that are waiting until election day. So I mean, these polls, you can't go off these numbers and off the percentages, because you know, you have such a different outcome right now. This is the most election we've had in what, 100 years. You know, you can't go off the polls, and you know, people are going to go out on election day because tradition is what they do. But the silent majority on election day is going to determine who becomes the president, and I'll tell you that right now. That's what's going to happen, and I'll stand by that. I'll put money on that.
You guys, I want to remind each and every one of you what we talked about a month ago, if not maybe 6 weeks ago. We were talking about going down the rabbit hole of this election. We were talking about what was going to transpire with this show. We were talking about the people involved in this election and the actual reality of what is going to transpire with the American people. And everything we talked about, everything we mentioned is being fulfilled. This is not the time to run out because of the heat of the battle. We all have been in battles. We all have been in battles. This is not the time to jump ship. This is not time to sit there and give up the ghost, as they say. This is when you get like Clint Eastwood said, you get junkyard dog mean, and you set your haunches down and you sit there and get ready for whatever is to be transpiring as far as a political party. This is for the best of the United States of anything and everything that we have going on. And this is what it's going to take. We're going to take punches. We're going to be knocked down. We're going to be set there and kicked. But we got to sit there and do what we know is right for the American people.
So, there's 5, from what I heard today, there's 5 cities in right now that they're deploying National Guard. It's not at the polling stations, but they're deploying National Guard in 5 cities: Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, 2 more. I don't want to lie and say, who it is, but I don't know. But there's 5 total that they're deploying election night, because obviously they're expecting unrest, and they're expecting, civil, and look at what's going on in Philadelphia right now. The riots and all this stuff that's going on right now. So there's 2 cops that shot a guy because this guy had a knife on him and was coming at a cop, right? He was trying to stab cops. He was trying to kill cops. They shot the guy after attempts to tell this guy to put the knife down. And all of a sudden, guess what? I never once said if the guy was black or white, yellow, whatever. But they shot this black guy, and now all of a sudden in Philadelphia, it's a racist event. Reality, Eddie, you can relate to this. If somebody's coming at you with a knife and you have a pistol in your hand and you repeatedly tell this subject to put a knife down and he charges you, you have to protect you and your own. Okay, you're going to shoot the guy.
Let's get
nobody wants to do that, but that.
Okay, let's get in some training.
Go ahead.
When we're talking about a knife wielding suspect and we're talking about an officer with a gun, first off, I just want to let everybody know and be very clear that that officer wants to go home to his family and his kids. Okay, let there be no doubt. Okay, if you've got somebody, and this is just me talking right now, if you've got somebody coming at you with a knife that's going to try and prevent me from going home to my family, guess what? I'm still going to go home to my family. And honestly, I don't give a rat's ass if they do or not. They're the ones putting themselves in that predicament, not me. Okay. So,
yes, sir.
If you got somebody at gunpoint, the normal range for a knife attack, this is not every situation. This is a normal, the range which is most commonly regarded as where all the experts kind of agree will take place for somebody to attack you with a knife. It's between 6 and 7 feet. Okay. 9 times out of 10 on a knife attack, you won't know that person's carrying a knife until that person grabs you. And then you start feeling the deep burning sensations of being cut, slashed, or jabbed. At that time, it's kind of too late. Let me put it to you like this. If somebody attacks and you have a pistol, you're the police officer, and you've got your handgun and your taser and all these great weapons at your disposal, and they come at you with a knife, you have less than 1 second. Less than 1 second to react and defend yourself against that knife attack. Number 2, you've got your weapon out. You're pointing it at the suspect. They've got a deadly weapon, which is a knife, and a knife is considered a deadly weapon. And they're making threats toward you and your partner. And you're walking in circles, continuously reminding them to put the knife down, put the knife down, put the knife down. Don't make me shoot you. Please put the knife down. We can talk this out. Please don't make me shoot you. Put the knife down. And they refuse to follow orders. How long are you going to walk in circles, keeping your life at risk before you finally finish the threat? End it. And you got to understand, these officers aren't out there going, I'm going to kill me somebody. Okay? It doesn't work like that. You're out there, you're going to stop the person. If he dies in the process or she dies in the process, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't put you in this situation. You put you in this situation.
And here's the thing, Eddie, about this guy right here. Here's the thing. They repeatedly told this guy to put the knife down. The guy lunged at the officer and they took control and they discharged on him. And if you go back on this guy, he was a rapper. This guy was a rapper, right? And in his raps and all his, he repeatedly said he was going to shoot cops. So there's a backstory right there. But all of a sudden, you have these radical idiots that are claiming this is a move. And now it's giving them excuse to go out and loot and riot and do all this crazy shit. They're not doing anything in the name of racism. They're going to riot and steal. That's what they're doing.
You've almost got the nail right on the head there, James. And I'm going to tell you why. These people that are out rioting and looting aren't doing it because this jackass got shot and killed by the cops. That's just the reason that they're using to get out there and break shit and steal stuff and get all the TVs. You'd have thought it was a Black Friday sale because Walmart did early
to do a criminal activity.
Yeah. Walmart was hit
absolutely.
Early. And the ones that got out of there, and I'm not lying to you. I can't make this shit up. This is the way they announced it. Walmart was hit by rioters and looters. The ones who got there early were the ones that walked out of there with the best stuff, such as televisions, etc. And I mean, you'd have thought you're listening to a Black Friday sale.
Absolutely, like a Loot Friday sale. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
And
Anybody,
not one pair of working boots was taken.
Yeah. Why would they need that? Anybody who pulls a knife, a gun, or any other type of object that can be used as a deadly weapon, and I mean a deadly weapon, which means club, which means, a stick, which means a hammer, which means even frozen water bottles, whatever.
Anything, yeah.
It can be used to inflict serious or deadly injury to an officer, constitutes and allow for the use of deadly force in defense. So if you pick up some shit,
and it's
you take a knife and you're going to try and kill a policeman and you get shot, tough shit. I hope you're good with God.
I agree. And I know where you're going with that. And I agree, but the thing for a firefighter is when you get on scene, you size up and make sure everything's code 4. But the thing is, you have to work on a guy, if he's still alive, that just tried to murder one of your brothers in blue. And that's a tough thing to do because you have to go and work on a patient and have non-bias. You have to go and work on this person. He's still breathing, but you know what he just did because you get the way there. And you have to know, okay, I got to work on this guy, and I got to know that this guy just tried to kill one of my blue brothers, but I still have to bias, right? Because he's a patient at that point.
Yeah, but us as police officers, we know that that's your job. We know that you have to jump in there and try and save him. Hell, we'll probably jump in there and try and save him, even though he's an idiot. But nevertheless, it's not our place to judge at that point. The threat's been neutralized. Now we've got to go on. We've got to push forward. We've got to try and save this moron and continue onward.
But
and
that the problem, the PTSD that you have from that is the fact knowing that you have to cut off all your emotions at that point on this cocksucker because he just tried to kill one of your friends, right? So after you do that so many times, you start becoming numb to feelings. You becoming numb to anything because you have to cut that off so many times, and it becomes a second nature to you. And that's the problem. When you got to deal with a guy laying on the ground with 4 bullet holes in him because he tried to kill one of your officers or one of your partners, and you have to say, okay, I got to put that shit to the side, work on a patient. I have to figure out how to work on this patient and stabilize and do all this other stuff. That's whenever you become numb and you get this block. Something kind of bothers you after that. Your feelings just whatever. You put all that shit, even in your personal life, you just put all that shit to the side, and then you just the issue and you look at the problem and you're like, okay, well, here's what I'm faced with, so let me deal with it. And you have no emotion and no feeling in that. And that's the thing. That's freaking thugs don't understand, the ramifications of the personal aspect on the EMS and responding officers and and responders. They don't get that. Of course, they don't give a shit about that. But this guy right here, he pulls a knife and they try to reason with this cat, and he just doesn't. They shoot him. Now you have all these rioters and all this shit. Now, how do these officers feel about this? Oh, well, fuck, I just caused a riot in this melee, because I'm doing my job.
Here's the thing, James. The officers did not cause the riot. These dirtbags did. And all these stupid.
But that's how they feel about it.
Supporters or whatever the hell they are. But I want to get Gordon's point of view, and I'm going to get Rick's point of view, and after that we're going to do closing statements because we are like short on time. So go ahead, Rick. Gordon, you're first.
My points of view is, Eddie, we stood out there today, you and I working together today, and we saw stupid in a lot of ways. And stupid people are going to be stupid no matter what the facts are. They're going to draw whatever conclusion, not based on fact, based on themselves. What is good for me? Not what is right. What is good for me? Black guy got shot, charging police because he had a knife. Oh, well, that's racist. Because that's what's good for me. We're going to break into a Walmart and steal TVs and steal, whatever, because that's what's good for me. This country used to be founded on what's good for my neighbor. This country used to be founded on what do we need to do as a country to make ourselves stronger and to protect our families, not what's good for me. And I've been real off tonight, and I've been real quiet tonight. And I'm sick to death of looking at the America that we live in right now. The conspiracies, the people avoiding charges, people doing whatever they can to cover up the fact that they are stealing millions of dollars from the American public. They're selling the American soul for a few dollars. And I'm tired of it. And it makes me ill.
Well, hopefully, Gordon, I pray that these type of days, weeks, and months will be over before too long, and we can push forward, continuing with the great America, the way we know America, and continue pushing forward. Rick, I'd like to get your point of view on this.
We're all in this together, guys. Every single one of us. Every one that is a true American. Not only, this isn't a race issue. It isn't. This isn't a political issue. This is a human issue. To be human to one another. to look at each other as brother and sister once again. I'm going to take you back to 2001 when those buildings were hit, when I heard and saw the unity of a nation come together in one single night, that we unified against the evil, against the proponents that were sitting there trying to take our establishment down. And I saw black with white, white with brown, brown with whoever. It wasn't a race issue. And we need that today. We need that now. And we need to sit there and unite with each other to the point to where we start sharing these feelings that we have right now, because I see and I hear and I listen to the desperation in some of the voices, and it hits me hard too. But we have to stand together now. And like I said earlier, now is not the time to give up. Now is not the time to give in. Let's unite and let's be true Americans.
Danielle says, so much truth, Rick. So many people lack empathy. Very true. So we are down to James. We're going to start with you with some of the closing thoughts, because you and I were discussing the whole this whole deal there just before we got into some of the points. So if you'd like to do some closing thoughts for us and start us off.
Let me get myself on mute right quick. Yeah, keep your eyes open, man. Like Rick says, you know, there's so much empathy out there and Trumpathy, but they refuse to show it on national TV. There's so much stuff going on that they don't want to show. If you have fortunately voted for Biden, there is a way to change your vote in certain states. Go look it up. Google change your vote. You can do that. Talk to your friends. If your friends have unfortunately accidentally shit their pants and voted for Biden, they could change their vote. Okay. You have a plan. If Biden does get elected, it's a big if, but nonetheless, there is going on. If Biden does get elected, we need to have a plan. We need to figure out what the hell is going to go on. You know, Texas can secede from the, but is that going to happen? I don't know. Who knows what the hell is going to happen? We have like 6 days left to go on this thing. Okay. You have to have compassion for our voters, for our fellow voters. If somebody has a different opinion from you, like my neighbor across the street that I don't talk to, you know, you can't crucify somebody for having a different opinion, right? Even though they put signs up in their yard and then take them down because they feel Biden's losing, and then they put him back up because of the polls and they feel like he's winning and my neighbors suck. Even if you have people like that in your neighborhood, have compassion. It is an election. You don't need to go out and crucify folks and say, oh, you suck just because you're voting for the other candidate. Try to convert those people. Try to talk to them. Put some policies in place and try to say, hey, this is the policies on this side. This is the policies on the other side. And see what they can do. You know, hey, you might smoke. Yeah, I've swung 3 of them this week. And that's what we have to do. But I am totally confident that a presidential candidates rally of 24 people versus a presidential candidates of 24,000, I'm pretty confident on who's going to be the end result on that. So, but just have compassion, have empathy for your neighbor. And at the end of the day, we're all people, we're all human, and we all have our own views, right? But just have that compassion for that other person. And I think that's a very important. I think that's one thing that the country is lacking right now is compassion, empathy, and people being humble. I think that's the thing that we're lacking now, and we can come back to that.
All righty. I agree with you, man. And I mean, I don't think I could have said it any better. Gordon?
I've said my piece, and James is right. His neighbors suck. But you know, he said some things, other things. You know, you can change your vote. Research on how to do it. you've got to get out and vote. Rick's right. It's not time to quit. It's time to stand firm. And there's a reason why we do get knocked down. We get knocked down because we have to learn how to get back up. And this is our time to get back up. We as the American people have got to grab what's left of our America and stand up and say, no, this isn't going to happen. Not on my watch. And we have to do this. This is not something that's maybe. This is not something that should be. This is not something that might oughta. We have hit we're in the 11th hour. If you like football, we're in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. It's time to run our 2-minute drill. But this is it. We have 6 days.
It's coming up fast. Rick Warren, your final thoughts, my brother.
Tomorrow afternoon, my friends, her son, we're all going to go down and we're going to vote. It's going to be a special occasion because that's something that we call special because this is America. And voting is a privilege. It is something that we can do together. It is something that we hold on to because we want that America we used to have. We want the people that loved America as much as we did to have the same America tomorrow, not only for my grandchildren, but for yours too. And for the aunts and the uncles and the nieces and nephews, so they can live a happy life and not be under the purge of possibly losing what 200 years it took to build this, the United States of America.
Amen, Rick. Now, real quick, Jonathan wants us to give our predictions, our election predictions. So we're going to do this really quick because we're already kind of like well over time. But I am going to predict. I'm going to predict an enormous loss for Joe Biden. And I'm going to predict that ghostly wise, he's going to be coming in close, and I do mean ghostly wise, which means kind of not real votes, more like a lot of votes from some of our deceased along in there. I am going to predict a huge win for Trump. I think that if, for whatever reason, if it does get close, or if for whatever reason, and some slim chance Biden wins, it's going to be because there was voter fraud. No doubt.
Yep.
No way around it. There's no way Biden can even be close unless there's some sort of fraud going on. Give me
Absolutely.
your Rick.
I'm going to say Trump by a neck, or even more so, because in the last election, they had Hillary winning with all the polls. They had Hillary winning clear up to the point to when the people, true people of America, got off work and they went down and voted. And this is the same thing that's going to happen this time. I see it, I feel it, and I'm going to predict it. Trump by a landslide.
Sweet. James?
So Trump, yes. If I had to categorize a landslide between 1 and 10, 10 being a landslide, 1 being, scry, I'm going to go with a 6.5. I'm not going to go full landslide. I'm going to say 6.5 to 7 on the 1 to 10 scale side. I think Trump's going to get it, but it's going to be not a landslide. It's going to be around a 6 or 7.
All righty. And Gordon, what's your thoughts?
I'm going to have to go against you guys a little bit. I think it's going to be Trump, but I think it's going to be a very slim margin, to the point to where they're going to do recount after recount after recount after recount, and this is going to drag out until January.
So you're thinking like a Hillary, kind of like a...
I think we're talking a point, maybe 2.
Okay.
I'll go with that. Well, Rick says, "Well, James, I tried that. I'm tired that most of my generation are a bunch of liberals and blind. They think everything runs with rainbows and unicorn farts." Now that's a
Rick.
good.
Hey, Keonda, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Want to see us?
Appreciate you. I appreciate you, Rick. Great description. But on that note, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, my final thoughts. I love you guys for sure. Please, 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 please. Now it's time to get together, band together, get out there and vote. Let's go after this Biden bastard and get him out of here for good. I'm tired of all this crap that's going on. We need to get America back on track, get rid of this COVID bullshit, get the stores open, get the economy open, get everybody out and back to work, start making some damn money, and start kicking ass and taking names the way we were before. Enough of this bullshit, enough of all this crappy political bull, whatever kind of shit you want to call it, that keeps going on. I'm tired of all of it. I'm tired of the Democrats. I'm tired of these stupid liberal bastards and all these other BLM fucks and all these other cocksuckers that are running around.
Say COVID one more time. Say COVID one more time.
and causing shit, basically. We're all Americans. Let's pull together. Let's act like it. Put our big boy pants on, and let's walk on and do what we got to do to make America great and keep it great and help Donald Trump be that way. Appreciate it, y'all. Take care. We love you. And we'll see you again Sunday at 8 p.m. And our next show, don't forget, is going to be for Paranormal Analytical Saturday at 8 p.m. So Saturday and Sunday coming up. Don't miss us, 8 o'clock p.m. every night. You can't forget that.
Bingo.
Hell no. That'd be great, man. Thank you guys, man. Thank you, man. It's going to be good.